My name is Mrs. Jones, and I will be your instructor for today's lesson. It is hard to believe, but we are halfway through this live lesson series. In fact, we are going to take today and review and revise what we have previously written. So in our last lesson, we just finished writing our T3 paragraph for both our Gold Rush and our Moon essay. Today, we're going to take a look back at those T2 and T3 paragraphs. We are going to color code them and self-assess them for both structure and our use of elaborative techniques. And then we're going to chat about transitions. Now, when I say transitions to you, what pops into your mind? If you're like most kids, what's going to first pop into your mind is going to be first, second, third, right? Because up until this point, I'm sure you've been taught by all your writing teachers, you need to begin every middle paragraph and your conclusion with a transition word. First, second, third, in addition, in conclusion, right? Well, today we're going to expand upon that understanding of transitions. First thing we're going to focus on is that a transition word doesn't have to just be one word. It can be a few words. In fact, we can write a transitional phrase. And we're going to look at some examples of advanced transitional words and phrases that we can use between paragraphs. So first, second, third, and conclusion, those are transition words used between paragraphs. We're going to talk about some more advanced ways to transition our readers from topic to topic. We're also going to have a discussion about transitional words and phrases that are used within a paragraph. You might be sitting there saying, Mrs. Jones, transitions within a paragraph, are you sure? Absolutely. In fact, you read transition words in between within paragraphs all the time. You probably even use transition words within paragraphs and don't even realize it. Anytime you use a word like also, however, so, for example, due to this, despite that, you are using a transition word within a paragraph. We use these words within a paragraph to connect the ideas to one another, to connect the sentences so that our readers can see how these topics are related to one another. So we're going to review our T2 and T3 paragraph and look at our use of those transitions within a paragraph. So for today's lesson, you're going to need two things. Your Gold Rush essay that you may have written as I was writing it. So some of you I know were following along as I modeled the Gold Rush paragraphs. You wrote them as well. And then you will also need your Moon essay. So this is the essay you wrote independently for independent practice. Now, if you have highlighters or crayons or colored pencils handy, go ahead and grab them. You only need 4 colors. It doesn't matter what you have, pencils, crayons, whatever. Grab 4 different colors. Give everyone a moment to grab their materials, and then we're going to get started. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to color code our T2 for structure. So this is the structure of a middle paragraph, and I bet by now everybody has this memorized. Now, I chose 4 colors. You can choose any 4 colors you want. We're going to highlight our topic sentence in one color, our A sentences in another, our B sentences in a third, and our wrap up in a fourth. I know I am using orange for my topic sentence. You can use any color you want. Just make sure you have 4 different colors and you use one color for each part of your essay. Sound good? All right. Now go ahead and get out either your Moon essay or your Gold Rush essay. I'm going to suggest if you do have both, get your Moon essay out because that's the one that you wrote independently. Now go to T2 of your Moon essay. Did you find it? Okay, select your very first color. I'm going to use orange and underline your topic sentence of your T2 paragraph. So we are only underlining the topic sentence of T2. Did you do it? Excellent. Now pick a second color. I'm going to use green. You can use whatever color you want, but pick a different color. And we're going to underline all of our A sentences. Now, I wrote this paragraph a while ago. I don't remember what my A subtopic is. I'm going to look back at my plan. Okay, so T2A is about California. So in my T2 paragraph, I'm going to now underline all of the sentences that are about California. So I'm going to use the color green, and I'm going to underline all of my sentences about California. Go ahead and underline all of the sentences in your T2 paragraph that are about your A subtopic. That the 49ers face. I'm going to do that in my third color. Go ahead and underline or highlight your B sentences now. Okay, did you highlight all your B sentences? I'm going to give you one more moment to do that. All right, everybody, did we finish? Excellent. We only have one more sentence to highlight. We're almost done here. Pick a fourth color. I'm going to use yellow. You can use any color you want. We're going to highlight our wrap-up sentence now. So I had actually kind of made a mistake, and I started to highlight my wrap-up sentence in pink. If you did the same thing, that is no big deal. We all make mistakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back over the part I had accidentally highlighted pink, and now I'm going to highlight it yellow kind of on top of that. So if you did the same thing as me, if you got a little too carried away with your highlighting, you can do what I'm doing right now. All right, so everyone highlight your wrap-up sentence, please, in a fourth color. All right, everybody, did you do it? Excellent. So now that we have a color-coded middle paragraph, let's take a look. So we're going to reflect upon our color coding. Basically, what you just did here is you self-assessed your structure in T2. You were able to identify what you included and what you did not include. So now we're going to reflect upon that. So the first thing I want you to do is look at your paragraph. Do you have a topic sentence that you highlighted? Did you do a topic sentence in T2? All right. Now, does that topic sentence start with a transition word? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Now let's look at our A sentences. How many A sentences did you write? So how much did you highlight in that second color? Are there 4 to 6 A sentences? What about B sentences? How many sentences did you highlight with the third color? So how many B sentences did you write? Okay, finally, did you include a wrap-up sentence? Do you have a sentence highlighted at the end that summarizes what the whole paragraph was about? Excellent. Now, whether you answered yes or no to any of my questions, I don't want you to be upset. Every writer is going to make mistakes. Please remember, this was your first draft. This is the first time you wrote this essay. Before you were to submit an essay to your teacher, most times you would write multiple drafts. You would write, you would reread, you would edit, you would revise, you would try again, right? That is how the writing process flows. So this was your first draft, and for some of you, this might have even been the first time you wrote a text-based middle paragraph on your own. So if you made mistakes, that's okay. But take a moment now and identify, what did you do a great job of? What did you remember? And what did you forget? Did everyone find something? Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to self-assess and highlight or color code our T3 paragraph. But this time we're not doing it for structure, so don't start. We're going to do it by elaborative technique. Now there are three ways you can write your A and B sentences. You can write quotes, you can write paraphrases, or you can write your own thoughts and ideas. So right now we are only looking at our A and B sentences. And we're going to do this in T3. So A and B sentences, all right above that T3, so you know what paragraph we're looking at. We're going to use three highlighters now, or colored pencils or markers. We are going to underline all of our quotes in one color, all of our paraphrases in a second color, and all of our own thoughts and ideas in a third color. All right? So again, you're going to look at T3 now, and only T3 of your Moon essay, or if you don't have your Moon essay, you can use your Gold Rush essay. And we are going to highlight or color code the three different types of elaborate techniques. Just look at A's and B's. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and get out my T3 paragraph. I will leave this displayed for you. Now I'm going to highlight and color code my T3 while you highlight and color code yours. All right, everyone, just a few more moments to finish highlighting your T3 paragraph, and then we're going to share. All right, everyone, excellent job highlighting or color coding your middle paragraph by elaborative technique. Go ahead and put your highlighters down, and we're going to chat for a second. So this is my T3 paragraph. I'm trying to zoom out for you so you can see the whole thing. Right now, I don't want you to even be worrying about colors at all. I'm sorry. Don't be worrying about being able to read this at all. Don't worry about the words. Right now, we're just looking at the colors. So this is my T3 paragraph. Now, look at my color coding at the orange, the pink, and the yellow. Now, everywhere you see orange is evidence that's been quoted. Everywhere you see pink is evidence that has been paraphrased. Everywhere you see yellow is my own thoughts and ideas about the evidence. So when you look at T3, you probably notice that you see all three colors, right? There's some orange, there's some yellow, there's some pink. So that is our intention. Look at your T3 paragraph. Did you use all three colors to color code your paragraph? Or did you only have one or two colors? Okay, now it's okay again if we made mistakes. We are not here for a grade. We are simply learning at this moment and discovering some strengths and weaknesses of ourselves as writers. So if you used all three colors, yay, let's celebrate that. If you didn't, that's okay. Let's look at our paragraph. What color do you not have? So what elaborative technique did you not use? And I'll give you some examples. Some students tend to include a lot of evidence. So they'll have a lot of quotes and paraphrases, but they have no own thoughts and ideas. Other students are flip-flop. They have lots of own thoughts and ideas, but no evidence. Some students only quote and they don't paraphrase at all. So if you only had two colors, look and see if you can identify which elaborative technique did you not use. All right, great job, everybody. Now, the next thing I want you to look at is the amount you have of each color. So when I look at my T3, I notice that I have more pink and yellow than orange. And that's intentional because orange is going to be evidence that is quoted. I wanted to ensure in my paragraph that I showed my reader my skills as a writer. So I wanted to show them what I could do. If I wrote a whole paragraph that was nothing but quoted evidence, then really all I'm showing my reader is that I know how to copy from the article, right? So my quotes, which is my orange, are going to be of a lesser amount than my paraphrases and my own thoughts and ideas. I still have quotes, but I don't have an overwhelming amount of orange. Does that make sense? Check your quotes now. See how many you use. Does that color dominate your entire paragraph, or is it only sprinkled in here or there? All right, excellent. Now, the final thing I would like you to do is to look at the colors that you use to identify your evidence. So for me, that would be orange, because that was my quoted elaborative technique, and pink, because that's my paraphrased elaborative technique. Look at those two colors that you used to color code your quotes and your paraphrases, and just skim over them. Did you include a reference or a citation to the source along with those sentences? So for example, I'm gonna look at my first orange. Okay, yep, here's a reference. Then I look at my pink. Okay, yep, here's a citation. Yellow is my own thoughts and ideas. I don't have to check that. Oh, here's orange. That's a quote again. Yep, here's a citation. Here's pink, that's my paraphrasing. Okay, yep, here's a reference. So go ahead and check your quotes and paraphrases now to see if you remember to reference or cite your sources. All right, excellent, everybody. So now that we've had an opportunity to evaluate and self-assess and reflect a bit on our use of both elaborative techniques and the way that we structured and organized our middle paragraphs, we are going to move into our final objective for today, and that is going to be discussing transitional words and phrases. I'm going to zoom back in because now I do want you to be able to read this. So as we talked about a few moments ago, there are two different ways we can use transitional words and phrases in our essays. We will use transition words and phrases between paragraphs, and then we will use transitional words and phrases within paragraphs. So what I would like you to do right now, first off, is to focus on the left-hand side, transitions between paragraphs. We are going to use advanced transitions right now. So instead of saying first, we're going to use one of these transitional words or phrases. Instead of saying second, we'll choose from these options. Instead of saying third, we will choose one of these options. So the way that's going to work, I'm going to model that for you. This is my T3 paragraph, right? So T3, I had started it with third. That's a boring, basic transition word. I want to challenge myself. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this word list. Let's see. I think I'm going to use the word. I want to use furthermore or lastly. Let's see what would make sense. Would it make sense if I said furthermore, there were people who saw the gold rush as a time to make money by building a business? Would it make sense if I said, lastly, there were people who saw the gold rush as a time to make business? Would it make sense to say last but not least? I think I like furthermore. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, on a little sticky note over here, write my new transition word, furthermore. Now I'm going to do that and I'm going to cross out third. The only reason I'm doing that is because I had written my essay in pen so you could see it. I'm guessing that all of you wrote your essay in pencil. So what I would love for you to do is instead of crossing it out and using a sticky note like I did here, you're just going to erase third and you're going to replace it with an advanced transition. Okay, so once again, in a moment, I'm going to show you the word list. You're going to select an advanced transition word for your T3. You will erase third and you will put your advanced transition in its spot. So here's your word list. Pick one of these options and replace third. I'll give everybody a moment to do that. All right, after you have done that, now I would like you to look at your T2 paragraph. Instead of using the word second to begin T2, choose an advanced transition. So erase second at the beginning of your T2 paragraph and replace it with an advanced transition for second. Finally, go to your T1 paragraph. So we're kind of working our way backwards through the essay, right? We started with T3, we went to T2, now we're going to go to T1. T1, you probably started with first. Erase first. That's a basic, boring transition word. And pick a new advanced transitional word or phrase to begin your T1 paragraph. All right, excellent job, everyone. Now let's look at the other side of this word list. Let's look at transitions within paragraphs. Now we are going to use a variety of transitional words within a paragraph to show how things are related. Sometimes we're going to want to show how things are alike. Sometimes we're going to want to show how things are different. Sometimes we want to give an example of something. Sometimes you want to show how things are caused or affected by one another. So we would choose appropriate transitional words or phrases for that particular relationship. If I'm showing how two things are alike, if their relationship is that they're similar and they're alike, I will choose from this word list. If I'm showing how two things are different, so if their relationship is they are opposites or they are different from one another, I choose from this list, and so on. So I'm going to look back. I'll model how to do this for you first. I'm going to look back to my T3 paragraph. And I'm going to look and see, when I went from my A subtopic to my B subtopic, did I use a transition within the paragraph? So here's A and here's B. So this is the very beginning of my B sentence, and I use the word also. So I am showing how things are alike. Now that makes sense because my T3 paragraph is all about entrepreneurs, Samuel Brannan and Levi Strauss. Those two gentlemen are alike. They have something in common. They both are entrepreneurs during the gold rush. So I chose the transitional word also to connect my A to my B. Now I'm going to leave this list displayed, and what you're going to do right now, you're going to go through T1, T2, and T3. And you're going to make sure that every time you go from writing about your A to writing about your B, you use one of these transitional words or phrases to show your reader how those subtopics are related to one another. I'm going to go ahead and give everyone 2 minutes to do this now. All right, everyone, one more moment. All right, everyone, great job today. So we accomplished a lot. We self-assessed our middle paragraphs for structure, elaborative technique, and we revised our use of transitional words and phrases. You all did a great job, and I'll see you next time.